For me, it's in my so I guess there's kind of two categories to it. As a business, we from a business perspective, I live in the States, so I have to adhere to kind of the US tax code and such. I use pretty standard American tools for accounting and then and tax planning. So not software that some of your listeners have probably heard about, things like TaxBit. Again, I'm talking about the business side of things, right? There's a platform called TaxBit. There's several other tools for tax
I'm taking
management.
notes.
Yeah, yeah. TaxBit is a platform that allows you, for example, it allows me to connect my mining pool account to through API through my to my TaxBit account. So every single day I can see the cost basis of my mined Bitcoin so that I can properly account for it in my accounting system, which then I report to the government, right? So that's a really important tool for me, there's a bunch of them, but TaxBit is a really important tool that I've been using since I began mining, because it is really it can be really hard without the proper tools to account for the value of your mined Bitcoin, your income, right? And then to be able to report it properly, to the IRS. On the personal side, my because I don't take a salary from my business, right? At least this year I chose not to. And on my personal side, I do use we use a charge card, and I've used a charge card for a long time. The type of card that doesn't allow you to pay over time, so you don't carry a balance. Look, I'm not a huge like debt guy. I know there's like the Michael Saylors of the world who's like, hey, lever up, borrow to buy Bitcoin, and or borrow fiat to buy Bitcoin. I see a lot. I just to each his own, but I'm not a big debt guy.
I'm the same as
So
you. Same as you.
I do use a charge card, which I do pay off every month. And this is where I do want to highlight Bitrefill. Bitrefill, when they and I don't know when it was, let's say 6 months ago, Bitrefill uh recently linked a lot of different American and perhaps foreign credit card companies and charge card companies to their platform. So I can now pay my fiat, American Express balance in Bitcoin directly, right? Through the Lightning Network or on chain, which is phenomenal. Like, that to me was a huge piece that was previously missing from my ability to exist only, or to conduct commerce only on Bitcoin, because I can go out and buy a cup of coffee or buy my groceries or buy whatever in fiat because they don't accept lightning payments at my grocery store. But I can come home and pay that pay that balance with sats directly from a cold stored wallet, or wherever I have my Bitcoin. So that integration for me was game changing, because I have a very simple personal situation where I don't have a whole lot of balances that I have to pay on, of other types of things. I do have some expenses that I cannot pay in Bitcoin, so of course I do have a bank account, but I keep a very low balance in there. I fund it when I need to, which these are all points of friction that are really annoying, right? Like having to send Bitcoin, to an exchange to convert it to fiat to pay a bill. That process takes days, right? And it's not without friction or costs, so it's super annoying. And every time, by the way, every time I have to do that, it's yet another reminder of why I'd rather live on a Bitcoin standard, right? Because I can transact instantly and with finality on Bitcoin, whereas I cannot. And every fiat transaction is a reminder of that, of how rough and costly the traditional kind of payment rails are.